hindsight 2020, I was definitely kind of running away from things that I wasn't liking, and I wasn't running towards something that I was getting excited and energized about. So I've been where I'm at now for about a year and a half, getting close to 2 years now, and it's just not checking all the right boxes of what I'm looking for. So um 6 9 months ago, reached out to Andrea, had a chat about, I've noticed I'm running away from things, and I need to kind of slow down and figure out what I want to do and what I want to work on and things like that. So made a ton of sense for her to help me kind of flush all that out. Last summer, I dusted off my resume and started looking at roles, and was spending more time on LinkedIn. And that's where I think came across, some posts from Andrea that kind of caught my eye. And that's when I reached out to her. And I definitely would have just done the same thing, as went out there, applied for some roles, and kind of ran away from the things I'm not liking in my current company, and probably most likely would have wound up somewhere else where the grass wasn't greener on the other side. Um, but I will say, like, at the beginning of our sessions, I think the goals and what I was looking for and what I wanted to get out of our time has definitely changed as we've kind of worked through things. Um, I don't know if there's like a perfect example to give, but I think, like, sitting where I am today, looking for kind of what is next. I know, like, the actual day to day of what I'm doing and, tactically doing isn't as important as I thought it was. It's definitely like the mission and vision of the company and the culture of the company that I need to find the right fit and have the right energy behind me. And then I think the other big thing that, I've really gotten out of my time with Andrew is, like, there's there's so many different pieces of the puzzle. Like, it comes down to, like, my time away from work, and, like, what I'm stressed about at home and what I'm stressed about at work, that all play into my career and my day-to-day job and different things like that. So fixing fixing the job search problem is just like one little thing, and fixing the time between dinner and bedtime with the kids is like a whole another piece of the puzzle. One that just jumps into my mind right away is just like carving the time out of my week to chat with Andrea, and then getting very 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 tactical next steps, and very almost like a accountability buddy, like knowing that I have these three things that I committed to doing, and I'm going to meet again with Andrea in a week or 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have to look in the mirror, look in the webcam, and say I didn't do those things I said I would do. I think that's definitely just one piece of the puzzle, because especially for me, I was definitely caught in a kind of cyclone of day to day, week to week, just working, grinding, and not carving out space and time for myself to improve. So I think just that piece of the puzzle is a big piece of it. And then Andrew is awesome at asking those tough questions and just sitting there and waiting for you to kind of, flush out your own answer. And, I think a lot of my sessions, I went into them thinking like, oh, this is the thing I want to talk about or work on. And after, 20 minutes of dodging some of her questions, or working through something, we find ourselves, that we thought that was the problem, but really there's this other thing over here that's the true root cause of what we're trying to solve. So I think those tough questions. And then she has a lot of good exercises and tools that I kind of did, not real time with her, but kind of as homework, that I think, internal reflecting and kind of really flushing out some of the things that you kind of just forget about when you get stuck in your cycle of day to day, week to week work and kids and everything. But kind of thinking about those deeper things and deeper meanings behind things, those tools were really helpful in kind of drafting and creating some of those mission statements and different things like that. I think it's just it's a lot about prioritizing things like what are your values and what's important to you, because I think even going into this coaching thing, talking to friends and family and my wife and different things, it's like, well, you make good money, your job's fine, like what's wrong? And it's like, well, I spend thousands of hours a day doing this stuff. I want to get energy from it. I want to like be happier, and investing a little bit of money over here in a coach to help me like figure that out. It's like the ROI on that's just, plain as day. So I think just making sure like people know what their values are and what's important to them. And like if your 40 hours a week job is, which I assume it is for most people, then like investing in a coach to help you make sure that you're happy and make sure that you're satisfied in your job, I think is kind of a no-brainer. Um, I don't know if I said it, I think I said it a couple minutes ago, but like maybe I already said it as part of this answer, but just like carving the time out. Like I used to always carve out a chunk of time every Monday morning for like reflection and prepping and different, things like that. And I think, you know, we all need time to like slow down and to stop and get outside of the craziness of the day to day. And I think that's also a huge piece. And just my time with Andrea right now is honestly that. And I think that's also a game changer. I think the biggest surprise, and honestly, I don't know if it's just because it's top of mind because I met with Andrew yesterday, or because it's some kind of the most recent thing we've worked through, but the the whole like habit changing thing, like me personally, I feel like, 3 years of working from home and COVID and having little kids, I've lost a lot of my good habits I kind of used to have pre world going crazy. And originally, kind of when me and Andrea started talking about this, it was, like there's all this stuff and it's like this mountain of things. And having her kind of help me just break that down and like simplify the heck out of it, has really been a game changer. So like trying to think of a good example. I mean, like boundaries at work is probably the best example. Like that was a hot topic that me and her worked on uh, early on too, and like it felt like I dug this hole of working like 60 hours a week and people expected this and like there's no way to like get out of it. And now I can like confidently say the last few weeks I'm working at least right around 40. And I mean, maybe I'm not getting everything done, but at the end of the day, like I have good boundaries with work. I feel a lot better about my work and I feel a lot less burnt out than I was. So, it's some of those hard things that like when you just stop and think about it from like a second, it's like, oh, this is gonna be so much work and this is gonna be so hard. But being able to like break that down into like little tiny bite-sized things of taking a lunch or shutting the computer down or not opening the computer back up at X o'clock and just sticking to it and all the different little tricks and tips that Andrea helps me with. I think that's it's really just breaking those habits, I think is the golden answer that I would give there.